Hello. In the event we haven't met, my name's Paul, and I'm the founder and managing director of the Open Mind Institute. Today, I'd like to talk to you about how your thoughts affect and create your reality. And if you want to go about creating a new reality, you have to change the frequency that you're emitting from your thoughts. First and foremost, where do our thoughts come from? Well, the science now tells us that 95% of the thoughts that we have during the course of the day derive from our subconscious program. The subconscious, of course, was laid more or less in the first 7 to 8 years of your life when your brain was doing things for the first time, and the foundations are set for your view of the world, your beliefs, your concept of self-identity. Now, if 95% of the thoughts we have derive from that subconscious program, and 90% of the thoughts that we have during the course of any day are more or less recycled from the day before, then what you find is that we are almost drawn into a conveyor belt like existence, whereby we get up in the morning, we have the same routine, we go off to work, speaking to the same people, thinking the same things, being stimulated by things in our environment that were there the day before. And in accordance, we, through our consciousness, through our awareness, carve out this reality for ourselves that is familiar, that is fixed. And sometimes many people struggle with that mundane component and not being able to create a new reality that is more aligned with their purpose and perhaps their passion in life. So how do we go about breaking that thought conveyor belt, if you like? Well, first and foremost, you have to raise your level of self-awareness. That's step number one. And that includes doing things like practicing mindfulness and meditation every single day. And I want to give you a really cool tool now that derives from Vipassana meditation, that is insight meditation, said to be one of the earliest forms of meditation taught by Buddha himself. And what this little tool teaches us, it's not so much the meditation, but the tool I'm about to impart upon you, is that it allows us to create a divergence between our conditioned self, that is our usual thoughts, and the observer or the awareness behind that thought or thinking process. The way it works is really simple. And even if you are unfamiliar to meditation, this is really effortless to do. You simply find yourself a comfortable spot, close your eyes for a minimum of 60 seconds, breathe normally as you would, and simply watch and follow your breath, but also leave a portion of your attention on being the observer of any thoughts that may arise. So your sole objective is to follow your breath, entering in and out of your body. And as your thoughts arise, what you want to do is acknowledge them, okay? So right now, I heard a car going by my study window. So if I was doing the Vipassana observer technique, I would acknowledge that that was a car going by my window, that was a sound, and that was me hearing. It was me hearing, and now I'm bringing my attention back to my breath, okay? So what you're actually giving a gentle little label to is that thinking process, because your brain processes every little bit of information that comes into its awareness, okay? And what happens ordinarily is we get distracted, and that distraction leads to another thought and another thought, and we're down this thought train that is adverse to our objective or task at hand. So what you want to do in this Vipassana tool, again, minimum of 60 seconds, is simply observe your thoughts, but come from a place of non-judgment, come from a place of curiosity, and acknowledgement. You know, acknowledging our brain is wired to just process every bit of information, but by giving it that gentle label, you know, this is me hearing, this is me feeling anxious, you know, this is me perhaps overthinking something, and then bringing that attention back to your breath. What you're actually doing there is orchestrating what we call metacognition. So you're thinking about thinking, and ultimately you are strengthening your prefrontal cortex, right? The most evolved part of our brain, responsible for decision-making, focus, concentration, attention control, and more importantly, the regulation of our social behavior. So by doing so, you're enabling yourself eventually to catch your conditioned response in that stimulus response gap, which is only about 5 seconds, according to some of the latest research. And when you are able to catch yourself in that stimulus response gap, it's almost a vortex-like experience. You can step out of that reality, okay? And you can acknowledge, hey, all right, here I am in a heightened situation. This would have been my normal, usual conditioned response. But you know what? Right now, I can choose a new empowered response. There was a great neuroscientist by the name of Viktor Frankl, you may or may not have heard of. Viktor Frankl was in the Second World War. He was half Jewish, and he was actually tortured in Nazi concentration camps. He lost his family and he lost his wife as part of that experience. Afterwards, he wrote a book. And in that book, there's a passage I want to share with you. And it says that in between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies our power to choose our response. And within that choice, within that power, lies our true growth and our true freedom. Our true growth and our true freedom. And the way I interpret that is we can become free from the bondage of our conditioned, limiting behavior. But again, it all starts with raising your level of self-awareness. That will enable you to catch your usual conditioned response in the stimulus response gap, and it will empower you to create new thoughts, new empowered responses, to create a new reality, to bring new results and outcomes into your life. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I truly believe that life is only 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we respond to it. So there you go. Give that a go. And I look forward to seeing you in future videos. My name's Paul. Always keep an open mind.